guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the mid-year book freakout tag. I wasn't tagged this year, primarily because tags have slowly been kind of not dying down, but becoming less and less frequent in the booktube community. But I just like doing this tag because it's like a nice way of like reflecting back on the books that I've read these past 6 months, and somehow magically I have met my Goodreads challenge of reading 60 books this year, and we're only in June, so let's just kind of get into it because 60 books is a lot. That means I have read like at least, roughly, if my math is correct, because we all know I can't do math, even though this is very simple math, I have read at least 10 books in the past 6 months. So yeah, I don't know how it happened, but we're gonna go with it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the video. So question number 1 is the best book that I've read so far in 2019, and I forgot to pick up the book, it's fine. But that book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yes, I do have 2 covers because yes, I am obsessive, and if I can get a 3rd cover, which is the Waterstones cover that has like the black sprayed edges, I would love everyone forever, but right now this plain old UK edition's just fine. But anyway, if you guys don't know what Daisy Jones and the Six is, it's a Fleetwood Mac inspired retelling of a band called Daisy Jones and the Six, where we kind of follow through an oral history these band members' progression into becoming Daisy Jones and the Six, their rise, and their eventual breakup. And since no one knows why they broke up, it's been kind of a point of intrigue for everyone. This came out, I think, in March? Yeah, I think it came out in March, and it's such a hyped book, and honestly, it deserves so much of that hype, and it's easily gonna be in my top 10 of 2019 books. Like, even though we still have 6 months left, chances are this book's gonna be like top 2. Unless like Madeline Miller decides to come out with a Medusa retelling, then we're gonna have both Madeline Miller and Taylor Jenkins Reid make a reappearance in my top 10 of this some year, because they were both in my top 10 of 2018. So question number 2 is the best sequel that I have read so far in 2019, and that, I believe, hands down goes to Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book in the series. And I don't know why I keep thinking that I'm going to go into a Sarah J. Maas book and not enjoy it. I have enjoyed like a good chunk of her work so far, and this one has like really taken the cake, and I can't wait to see how it all ends. But I'm really like hesitant to finish off the series for obvious reasons, because like, hello, it's the series finale, and I'm an emotional person, so I don't know how to deal with like endings in particular, especially for like fantasy elements, because they always create groups, but I'm fine. But yeah, this is definitely the best sequel that I've read so far, and if you guys don't know, Throne of Glass follows Selena Sardothian, who is an assassin who has been released from the slave camps of Endovir and now is forced to participate in the King's Champions kind of game, where if she wins, she can live out the rest of her days free after serving the king for, I think, 5 years. Definitely one of my favorite sequels thus far, which is odd because I haven't read a lot of sequels this year. I think most of the sequels I've read have been rereads, so I definitely need to get hopping on that sequel bandwagon because it's been a minute, and I want to finish out some series this year. So wish me luck. Question number 3 is a new release that you want to read but you haven't had a chance to yet, or that you haven't read but want to, and that goes to On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is Angie Thomas's sophomore novel, and it follows Bree as she tries to become a famous rapper after following the footsteps of her now deceased father, who was a famous underground rapper. And now that her family's bills are piling up, it's very obvious that she has to kind of get really famous really fast to assist her family. This came out in February? Yeah, February. And I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet. 1, because I suck. That's really all I can say, is that I suck. And I do plan on picking up this cover, like the book, really soon, because I want to pick up this book along with On Fire and High and The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. So hopefully I'll pick those 2 books up soon, or maybe, since my birthday is coming up, or my birthday should have passed already, I should have gotten a Barnes & Noble gift card, or maybe someone who loves me would have gotten me a book. Chances are they're all gonna buy me socks. Because that's what happens when you're an adult. Everyone just buys you socks. Now, question number 4 is my most anticipated releases for the last half of the year. And that goes to The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I'm very excited for these two, primarily because The Night Circus is like one of my favorite books of all time. And then same thing with Perks of Being a Wallflower, and this is the first book that Stephen has written in 20 years. And it's a thriller kind of situation, so I'm like, gimme. And then the last book I'm excited for is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I was close. I was going to say Christine Lim. But I don't know too much about both The Starless Sea and Imaginary Friend, other than the fact that they're both adult fiction. But for Spin the Dawn, it has been told as a Mulan meets Project Runway kind of mashup, and I'm excited because like the premise, that tagline alone sounds great, and I don't need to know the rest, so very stoked for that. Question number 5 is my biggest disappointment, and I recently finished this book, so I should be having more thoughts on it in my wrap-up coming up next week, and that is The Crown by Kiera Cass. I have read and reread the first 3 books of the Selection series. I love them all for their own little situation, but I wanted to finish out the entire series as a whole to see where it kind of went. And the last 2 books were kind of disappointing to me. I found that specifically the last book of the entire series, was especially disappointing, primarily because there wasn't a lot of build-up to what was going on. Everything felt very like, oh, this just kind of happened out of nowhere, and I wasn't a fan of it per se, and it felt really flat for me, I think. And I think I would have been okay having not read these 2 books, just so I can live the rest of my days knowing that the Selection series ended out in a nice, like, round circle, essentially. Question number 6 is the biggest surprise so far, and that is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. I read this for Queer Lit Readathon, so pretty recently, and I enjoyed it immensely. This follows Aaron Soto as he kind of struggles to find happiness in his life after a family tragedy. And there he finds contentment in his girlfriend, but also starts to fall for his best friend Thomas. I will leave my wrap-up down below with all of these thoughts, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. But this book was just something else. I love Adam Silvera's books, but I always felt like they felt a little flat for me. So I didn't really know what to expect going into this one, but I was very happy with kind of what happened in this book, or rather my reaction of this book. My new question number 7, I believe, yes, 7 is my new favorite author. Either can be debut or new to you, and I chose Elizabeth Acevedo. She ended up writing The Poet X, which I listened to an audiobook. That was her debut novel. And her second novel has been released recently, and that is With Fire on High, I believe, and that has some magical realism and tackles some teen pregnancy, and I'm just really excited. I know this one isn't written in verse like her first novel, but still she's such a great writer, and I know she recently received an award, and I think she's the first she's either the first Black author to have gotten this award or the first woman author. Either way, very excited, and I'm so stoked to pick this book up because like the cover is just gorgeous, and I feel like all of her covers from this day forth are just going to be gorgeous because I love me a good illustrated cover. Like I love yeah. Question 8 is my newest fictional crush, and that has to go to, it's unfortunate because recently I've been reading a lot of YA, which isn't bad, but that means they're all like little babies, and I'm 23 now, so I can't necessarily be like lusting over a 16-year-old. I can lust over their characteristics, but in terms of like them, I'm just like, I can't do it. But I looked this up, so I am in the clear. But my newest fictional crush is Adion Ashervere from the Empire of Storm series. He's 24. So I have that going for me. I like his personality for some reason. I just feel like I vibe with him, and he's also really pretty, and yeah. Question number 9 is my newest favorite fictional character, and that is Levi from Fangirl. I recently read Fangirl last month, and I enjoyed it, and Levi was just such a cute character, and like his personality was just so like cheery and helpful and bright, and I just adored him from like the moment I met him. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry, and this goes to 3 books because, you know, I can't make a decision. And the first book is The Everlasting Nora by Marie Miranda Cruz. I have a review on this, so I will leave that link down below so I don't talk, but this follows a young girl in the Philippines as she kind of tries to figure out her life again after she loses her father and her house in a tragic accident. The next book is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. I had previously talked about it, so you don't really need me to reiterate. And the last book, which comes as no surprise, is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yeah, I even listened to the audiobook and cried with the audiobook, so no one's really surprised this book is making another appearance. Question number 11 is the prettiest cover that you've bought so far, and I don't remember if I bought this book. I know I bought one of the books this year, but the other one I don't know if I bought like the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I'm gonna include it, and the first one is Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is essentially the movie Practical Magic, or like the book that came before it, which I didn't know existed. But like I'm a huge fan of like these blues and these colors, so excited to pick this up sometime soon. But yeah, and the last book is Daisy Jones and the Six, the UK edition by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the last time this book will appear in this video, but probably not the last time it appears on my channel, so not sorry about it, really. Question number 12, it's a book that made you happy, and that is Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake. I read this for Queer Lit Readathon recently, and I fell in love with it. This follows Ivy Aberdeen, and after she loses her home in a tragic kind of hurricane, she is on the hunt for her journal, where she kind of has been drawing pictures of little girls holding hands, not really understanding what that means for her. And these pictures these drawings end up popping up in her locker, and she is hoping that it is this girl that she's been harboring a crush on. I have my wrap-up up, so that should be there, but I will link that down below as well so you guys know my thoughts. And the last question is question 13, and what books do you need to read before the end of the year? And I have a lot of them. I'm not gonna lie, but I narrowed it down to 3 for the sake of my own sanity, and those 3, I do have to do a couple of like rereads before it, but those 3 is, the first one is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This follows a group of teens or college students who study Shakespeare, get obsessed, there's a murder involved, Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is also in that same vein, but only this one involves Greek mythology. Everyone has such great things to say, and I don't know why I'm so hesitant to pick it up, but this is what happens when overhyped books reach my like overhyped books that I know will be great reach my like stream of consciousness. I'm so hesitant. And the last book is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I don't know why it's taken me so long to read this book. I love Stardust. I love Neil Gaiman as a writer. I love the TV shows that his stories have created, so I don't know why it took me so long, but it's fine. And I don't really know who to tag, because I do these things as more of a reflection, really. But if you guys haven't done this tag yet, I highly recommend that you do it on your blog, Instagram, whatever, but leave those posts commented down below, or if you want to do it on YouTube, whichever one. But until then, like if you like these videos, subscribe. I try to upload twice a week. All my social media links and any links that are for these books, like reviews or whatever, should be listed down below. But if for some reason I forget, please remind me. I forget a lot of things. But until my next video, I'll talk to you guys everywhere else, and have a great day. Bye!